Do you love Pretzel Day? Do you prefer Alfredo's Pizza Cafe to Pizza by Alfredo? Have you ever dreamt of spending a week in Jamaica's largest freshwater pool? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to arch your back, lift with your knees, and shove it up your butt. Because today, we're talking The Office on...
We'll be your friends.
All right. Hello and welcome to We'll Be Your Friends, the only podcast to get a lifetime ban from Chili's. I am your regional manager, Taylor, and with me today is the assistant to the regional manager, John.
Hey, what's going on?
And all the way from the Nashua branch, we have special guests and office aficionados, Briana and April. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello. Thank you.
So this week we are discussing The Office. I think myself, Briana, and April, we probably watched The Office a million times. John says he's watched it a bunch.
Why would I lie about that?
I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would lie about something.
I just want to be
like
accepted by my
so
peers.
We're going to find out today if John is lying.
I watched a few of them. I watched a lot.
So, April, Briana, tell me about your experiences with The Office. Tell everybody why I would want to pick you to come on The Office episode.
I think that you guys needed to pick us because specifically, we watch The Office every fucking day after work. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Do you watch on the weekends though?
On the weekends,
every single day.
Like
every
a
day.
season on the weekends?
Every day.
You know what? It's like the TV show we never get tired of.
So, if you had to put a number on it, how many times would you say you've watched the entirety of the series? Front to end.
Front to end, as far as the year goes, at least 5 to 6 times a year. Front to back.
5 to 6 times a year.
That's how much we watch it.
You say a year, so how many years in a row have you done this?
2.5.
Okay,
That's still an incredible amount of...
I've watched it for way longer. Way longer than you.
It's quite a bit, but we've watched it quite a bit, so.
So, did you guys watch it when it was on TV, or is this something that you picked up during a binge watching session? Did you guys only get into it because you guys were together and watching it? How did you get into it?
Well, I actually watched it way before her, so I'm the real pro here. But I started watching it on Netflix, and then so she got into it. She was like, "This is so annoying" at first, and then she got really into it. So.
You were annoyed initially, you didn't like it.
She was.
Yeah, for sure. I did not like it at all.
You're trying to say it nicely.
No. So in high school, I would always see commercials for it, and it wasn't my type of comedy until April and I had got together. Which, by the way, we are married.
Yeah. They're married. We've got lesbians on the podcast, everybody. Episode 2, lesbians.
So we got together and
The Office.
we needed to watch something new, and she had watched it quite a bit, so I said that I would watch it. I definitely did not like it at first, but I got hooked by at least the 3rd season, and we have watched it almost every day since.
Was there a particular maybe episode or event that made you say I like this show now? What turned you around to it?
Yeah, what was it? What was the turning point?
Because you sounded really against it in the beginning here.
It's definitely the Toby and Jim thing. Okay, so I know Dwight and Jim have their own prank style and everything like that, but Toby and Jim, the hatred that Toby Flynn. So no, excuse me. Michael and Toby. Okay. The hatred that Michael has for Toby drew me in.
Okay, I can see that. But, it's fun. It's funny that you bring that up because there was, this weird hatred between Toby and Jim because Toby had a thing for Pam.
Was that in the beginning?
No, towards the end of the towards the end of the series.
I mean, I've watched a lot of it, so I know.
Once Pam and Jim get married, Toby is, totally pissed at Jim, or even when they start getting together because, what was it? It was, so the episode where Michael is looking for his replacement and he wants to do it Survivor style, so he brings everybody down to the beach. And Toby is like, "Oh, we're gonna need sunscreen. I could put it on you, Pam," or whatever it was. And she was like, "Oh, well, whatever." And he's like, "I'm not going." And he freaks the fuck out and tries to win her that duck at the bar. So, like, there's that weird hatred, and, like, now that I'm thinking about it, that might be, like, one of the funnier things of The Office. And that's what I love about it, because there's so many things that you'll pick up on, like, that you didn't the first time around.
Yeah.
You know, like, the way people react to stuff, and, like, just in the background, like, because you're not watching it for the episode anymore, it's just, like, background music. So you pick up on weird things. What would you guys say is, like, your favorite episode? Hands down, you're turning it on for the first time. What episode do you turn to?
I'm going to go first. It's the episode where Toby's leaving, because my favorite part is when Michael is singing the Going Away song. It's like, Toby's going away. And he's, like, so enthusiastic. Like, the one time he's super stoked about Toby is when he's leaving.
That's great.
And he, like, even rewrites that whole song.
He throws the fair, and there's, like, a
the whole
Ferris
carnival
wheel.
thing. It's so funny. Like, the best part they ever thrown for The Office is when
Also,
Toby
he
leaves.
saves the money from his grandma
Oh, yeah.
in his shoe
In his shoe,
for
he
the
pulled out
whole
his special
year.
shoe money. He's like, I was going to buy a motorcycle, but...
I totally forgot until just now. Here it is.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Oh, it's
that's
great.
a good one. How about you, Brianna? What's your favorite episode?
Okay, there's a lot to choose from, and I've been thinking about quite a few. But I'm going to go a little sappy, and I'm going to say the Niagara episode
so
when
good.
Pam and Jim get married. Because I don't know if April ever pays attention to me while I'm watching that episode.
You cry like every time.
But I get a little teary-eyed with Pim and Jam.
Pam.
Pim and Jam.
Okay, I apologize. Brandon's been drinking. Also, when Pam and Jim get married
Relax.
and
Small
they
room, not a train station.
listen to Forever by Chris Brown.
Ooh.
That's my favorite.
That is a good scene.
And then when it pans out to them on the boat on Niagara Falls, it's pretty
That's
great.
a scene that makes you believe in love, and which is
It
crazy
does.
because those two people have never been like actually intimate with each other that we know of. You know,
That's what's great about it is
for
like
sure.
it's got those heartfelt moments too, like a solid show should have. You know, it's super hilarious, but there's those moments you forget about.
Yeah.
You cry all by yourself. And so, I
Well,
mean, that's not what I do.
All
That's
right,
what I
well, if
hear
we're
people
talking
do.
about moments that make us cry, the episode where Michael has the last Dundies. I know you hate the D'Angelo Vickers, which we'll get into that. But that episode where they sing like the song that they made up for him to
That Rent song.
the Rent song, thank you. Hannah's gonna kill me for that. To the Rent song, I straight up I'll cry. It's like a tearjerker, man, because like just the one thing he always wanted was just like that to know that everybody cared enough about him to do something big and grand like he would, and then they finally do it, and he's just like, well, it's gonna be a son of a bitch, and it was because it was. I will still cry to this day anytime that episode comes on, but makes me stronger as a man because I can admit it.
Fair enough.
How about you, John?
We all learned a lesson today.
What's a favorite episode of yours?
You know, I really, being the odd man out here and haven't watched it in so long, I couldn't think of one. But I'm going to go with a quote just because it's one thing that I probably laughed the hardest at, like ever, top 10 moments, is going back to the feud between Toby and Michael, is he said if I was in a room and I had a bullet or had a gun with like 3 bullets, he would shoot.
Oh, I think,
So I'm sure someone could bail me out with this one, but you know where I was going, and I thought it was the most hilarious concept to actually have that moment and do that because you hate someone so much that you would shoot him twice with each bullet.
It was Hitler and Saddam Hussein.
That's
I
right.
think.
And he would
Osama
shoot
bin Laden.
Osama bin
and he would
Laden,
shoot
yeah.
Toby twice. Like that's
Shoot, Toby's right.
That
Everyone's
was
like,
a
okay.
great.
just when you like
love that because
you,
then they
you
like
just-
divulge into like that whole scene where they're like lining everybody up and
Yeah.
what was it, like Phyllis, you're Osama bin Laden, and Stanley, you're gonna be Hitler, and he's like, no. Pretty good Stanley.
That's
what?
a good Stanley,
just
yeah.
walk into the
yeah, I
studio?
didn't know you were gonna have him over. That's cool, man.
All right, special guests coming in and out. Bye, Stanley. Bye.
Wish you would have told me sooner he was coming. It's pretty cool.
Right? And he said that we didn't have to pay him SAG minimum, which was great. Let's talk gym pranks. You know, we have to bring it up. And I'm going to tell a fun story here. We all work together in the same office, and I have a Rubik's Cube on my desk. And one morning it went missing, and I was like, what the fuck? Somebody stole my Rubik's Cube.
He was
I'm gonna
really
stab
mad.
somebody. I was actually pissed.
He actually stabbed me.
I texted everyone. I was like, did you steal my fucking Rubik's Cube? No one said anything.
Angry emoji.
The next morning, I come in,
Knife emoji.
and my Rubik's Cube is in a Jell-O mold. And immediately I knew who it was because we had talked office so much, and I went right to you guys, and we had a great laugh. And it was that moment that I said, I am going to get you back for real.
And that you did.
You did.
That's
That
awesome.
I did. Brianna, why don't you tell us what happened to you for the Jello?
Yeah, what'd you come to work to see?
Play by play. I came into work. I started clocking in for work, and everyone was greeting me with, "Oh, good morning. Is it your birthday?" I said no. So I was a little bit confused, and I started walking towards my desk. And as soon as I lifted my head to look up at my desk, everything was wrapped in Christmas wrap.
Everything.
right.
Everything was wrapped in Christmas wrap. And may I add, it was very nicely wrapped.
Right?
How,
Dainty even.
how long?
It was very pretty.
How long did you spend doing that? I wanted to know. I never.
I think I total clocked out at like an hour and a half. And I was like taking breaks in between. And I honestly thought
You
that
took
I was
breaks?
doing like, yeah, dude, it was so I was sweating. Like,
I guess
it
it's probably
silly.
that's
Dude,
no. That's
like
fair.
my first words were, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And everyone was like,
It was
"Oh my
rude.
God, do you know who it was?" I immediately knew it was Taylor.
Yeah, 'cause
It
I
was
am
his
the
comeback.
prank king. But to be fair,
It's the only prank you've pulled.
But it's the only one that you can do.
That's fair.
There's so
It was
many
great.
Jim pranks, but there are only so many that are like actually feasible. Like one of my favorite ones of all time is where he gets his Asian actor friend.
Oh, that's so good.
That is
That's my favorite one.
That would.
I steal your favorite.
Oh, that would take so much time and like
It's
planning
so
and
The picture.
fucking good.
The picture.
yeah.
He's like,
There's
who
just
is this?
so many levels to it, and it's like obviously that's something you're never gonna pull off. Nobody is that stupid.
when you
Nobody-
watch it,
No.
you believe it's Jim for
Yeah,
a second before it's
exactly.
over. You're like, wait, maybe I missed an episode or something.
He is very convincing, and it's just so funny, and it just takes it to the next level. And I love that one. It is one of my favorites.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my. Well, I mean, since you did it to me and having it happen to me in real life, I would definitely say the Jim and Dwight, Jim covering all of Dwight's stuff in wrapping paper.
I'm glad that
I
changed
was
your mind.
literally afraid that if I touched my desk, that it would fall apart, but it didn't. Everything was intact.
You did a good job if it caused that moment. Like,
Yeah, I
It was
wasn't gonna
perfectly
take it
wrapped.
apart. Yeah, I didn't want to take it apart. I wasn't gonna like do anything to hurt you. That would have been fucked up. But I wanted
Also, my second favorite is when Jim attaches that red wire to Dwight's computer, and he has to go all the way throughout the office, all the way across the street, up the telephone pole, and then it pans out to Dwight climbing the telephone pole.
Yeah.
It cracks me
awesome.
up.
These are amazing.
Smacked him in the- the Pavlov dog. Every
Yes,
time
the
he calls the
Altoids.
dog.
Yes,
The
yes,
Altoid
yes.
one.
Yeah,
Forgot about that one.
I told you there's so many.
there's so many of them.
when
They're-
you see those moments in shows, you associate it with the character, them being so clever, then you have to realize that someone wrote that in. Like there is someone that either looked it up or actually thought it up, and I think that's awesome that someone actually
I
queued
think
up
it's
all
awesome
these
that
pranks.
There's like a team of people
Yeah,
who are like,
exactly.
yes, let's do this. Let's get it set up. We'll stack 4 desks on top of each other so that like we can have this 2-second clip at the end of an episode.
My favorite prank is not a Jim Dwight. It's actually when Jim moves to the new office and he pranks. I think it's Andy. Is that right? He does the Jello mold.
Oh, and he
but
flips
Andy
the fuck out.
freaks the shit out, and when he shoots that, like he always shoots the look at the camera, but this time he was like super, like, oh, I fucked up. Like that look in his
Yeah,
face,
he's like,
priceless.
"Don't pan to me, don't
He's like,
pan to
oh
me."
shit, don't no, you have to like. It got super real, super fast, and I love that change in
He
direction
did
like
an
that.
opposite Jim look.
Yeah, he's like, don't do that right now. That's definitely one of my favorite bits right
That
there.
actually reminds me of another one that Jim did when he was in
Stanford.
Stanford. Thank you, April. Points to April.
I'm already winning, guys.
Which we'll get to the trivia at the end. Spoiler alerts. I like when he sends Dwight the faxes from the future.
Yes.
Yes.
The
Someone
coffee
has
is
poisoned
poisoned.
the coffee.
Do not drink the coffee. He smacks it out of Stanley's hand. So let's move on to who you would fire and why.
Go that way because I don't have one yet.
John.
I got one.
All right.
I would fire Stanley.
And why is that?
This is the reason why.
He's a sassy
He-
black man of the office.
He is a sassy black man at the office, but he's not in a lot of the bits. He's not in a lot of the scenes. I think that I can continue watching The Office if Stanley was never there.
Okay, so let's first get into your headspace. You're firing him as a viewer of the show.
Yeah, I was interesting take on that. I was thinking of it
Or-
like as an employer.
Yeah, I was
An
thinking
employee.
if
Like as
you
a
were
boss.
Michael or the regional manager of the Dunder Mifflin branch, who would you fire?
Viewer, and as Michael. So if I were Michael, I would still fire Stanley for mouthing off to him in the office.
It's a respect thing, then.
It's a respect.
Yes.
He was disrespectful to him, and all he does is Sudoku.
He's
But
so good at it. Exactly.
He's great.
So what about when Stanley gets his new catchphase and he tells people to shove it up your butt?
That's
Even
a-
shove it up your butt, Stanley.
That's a big
with
changing
empty
point in
axe?
Stanley's character there.
Because like now he's more lovable, and he's like
Okay.
having fun and
Okay.
relaxing, and he's a good salesman.
True.
Obviously, because like he
But
lives
it
a
took
pretty
it quite.
lavish
He.
lifestyle.
It was quite a few seasons until we got that Stanley. So I'm gonna go ahead and say early Stanley. I would definitely get rid of.
Early Stanley has the axe. April, how about you?
Okay, well, see, I was seeing it from like a viewer's point of view too, which would have been Ryan because I hate that punk.
Why do you hate Ryan?
Ryan
He's
is,
kind of the worst sometimes. Like
he is
a lot
so
of the times.
rude to Kelly, number one, and he like when he was the big boss, he like threw everybody under the bus, and then he comes back and was like, "I'm trying to make amends," blah blah blah. It's like, no, you were still a punk ass bitch.
Yeah, but that's
No.
why he's in the closet now.
Yeah, which was it took him a while, Jim, like a while to figure out what to do with him, but
Well, no, he's technically not in the closet anymore. If we're going by the end of the show, he's
Yeah.
in like Utah, right?
somewhere else.
Somewhere he went to go chase after Kelly because he has a son named Drake. Not like
That he
the
doesn't
son.
have anymore though because he left
Oh,
it.
he left it. He left it with Nellie.
Yes.
Well, he didn't leave it with Nellie, but he left it with the Indian doctor who left it with Nellie.
Exactly. Yeah, but if I was Michael, I would definitely fire Andy.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
Number one, anger management. He's so annoying, and
Okay,
he
so when
gets
he
so
punched
angry.
that hole in the wall, he would have been done.
He would have been fired immediately. Like, you cannot come back. Like, we're not going to send you to anger management. You're a psycho.
You really thought of this. Like
Yeah, like I hate.
this sounds
it.
like the meeting you would have with them. Like
I
different views.
hate him.
Well, here's
So
something that we
much.
need to consider about Andy for a second. Once Andy joined The Office, Ed Helms, he was known as like the worst salesman. He was like a shitty salesman. He didn't get anybody, blah, blah, blah. But he was at Stanford long enough where he was one of the 5 that got picked to get absorbed into Scranton. So Andy was a good salesman at some point.
At some point,
So we have to assume that at the point where he punches the wall, Andy is a good salesman. So with that sales ability and the fact that like 2 or 3 other people just quit, Andy still gets the axe?
he would, because if I were still Michael, in my head, I'm thinking, how annoying are you? Like, you're really fucking annoying. Like, I don't, like Michael said, he said, I don't want someone to try to impress me just because I'm the boss, you know? I want them to impress me because they actually like me. Like, they want me to like them.
I like how you're talking about Michael like he's not kind of insane all the time himself though. Like,
true.
like
But
he makes really
is
good
the
points
office,
though. But like
he is the office.
it's
Like,
true.
when he leaves, it's so sad. Like, it's not the
it
same.
is a bummer. That's actually what I stopped watching to put that line there where I stopped. So
Where did you stop watching?
Michael left.
Oh, and Michael left? Well, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But who do you fire, John?
I'm gonna go as like an employee, the actual real company here. I'm gonna go with Creed.
do.
I'm gonna go with
Ooh.
Creed.
Why?
Okay.
Here's it's well
like where your
again.
head's at.
Well, for one, he's fucking insane. He's super sketchy. He's probably murdered many people. He's always doing drugs, if not selling them or buying them. Like, but there is a sketchy like repercussion that he could probably come back and burn the place down because
Okay.
he has the resources, I'm sure, and the know-how.
I like where your head's at. I'm going Meredith. And this is
Okay.
why. First of all,
That's a
Meredith
good
is
point.
funny. Don't get me wrong. She's got a few good parts. But if you
Her
were
vagina.
to subtract every single one of her scenes from the entirety of The Office, outside of like that like couple of episodes where they shoehorned her in literally by hitting her with a car and like having the like rabies thing, the show would be no different.
That's a good point.
It'd be no difference at all. And she's an alcoholic. And like
She's a huge
just
whore.
like a sexual harassment
Total
lawsuit
whore.
waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to work with
So,
her.
yeah, obviously The Office is ridiculous, and there's really no place like that. It came up before. I'm glad you brought it up, John. The divide in Office fans. Some of us out there believe that when Michael Scott moved to Colorado, The Office was no longer The Office. I want to know, where do you guys stand on that line?
I did not like when Will Ferrell joined. I'm gonna be real. When we watched The Office, if I had a chance, well, I mean, we watched it in full. Don't get me wrong, but if we had a chance to choose, I could definitely cut out the whole season without Will Ferrell.
Okay, well, he was only in it for 4 episodes, and you and I are going to get into it hard right now because I think I know you think.
Nope.
But D'Angelo Vickers is the best. And
Nope.
I'll tell you why. You go first. Go ahead. It's in your court. You start. It's your turn.
I just don't think that he fit in the series as a whole. And the fact that his name is D'Angelo, do not like
Vickers.
I disagree with you. I think he's a perfect fit. He's zany. He's weird. He's got he's half there and thinks he knows what he's doing, but he's not, and it just kind of falls into place.
But Michael has that. He's always trying. Michael has that. He's always trying to impress and trying to be the top. He wants everyone to like him.
That's true.
I've watched.
D'Angelo didn't have that.
Yeah, D'Angelo didn't have. He's a little bit more confident. He was zany, right? But that was kind of part of Michael's charm, I think, is the fact that he's always trying to make someone laugh or smile, and he does a terrible job. He's always offending everybody.
Yeah, I just didn't think he fit in.
Okay,
from my standpoint,
that's fine. So you don't like D'Angelo, but what about Robert California? What about Creed? What about Andy as the boss?
I actually did not mind Andy as being the boss. Robert California, I did not like whatsoever.
And why is that?
He was just so spacey and just so
Very sexual.
Well, obviously, but I liked Andy.
But James
actually,
Spader, that voice.
Yeah,
no,
the jam.
thank you.
His voice is so good.
I got half a stock just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's and he's just so fucking out there. It's great. I love it. I just so prepping for this episode. Those were some of the episodes I watched, and I gained a newfound appreciation for Robert California. And I think if you go into it with an open mind, you might enjoy it too.
Next time around, I will do that. But as far as right now,
Join us for that episode. Yeah.
No.
Okay. How about you, April? What do you think? Are you in the same page as Briana, or are you on my boat where I think that they're equally good as the first couple of seasons?
Well, I didn't like the Will Ferrell episodes either.
Will Ferrell's
maybe it's just because I'm biased
is,
with
yeah.
Steve Carell. I mean, I like Will Ferrell, but I didn't feel like his character fit either. But I didn't mind having Andy as the boss. I mean, I wouldn't agree with some of his things, like leaving for months to sail a boat and shit, but
I forgot he did that.
but I mean, whatever. He was kind of more like Michael. That's what I was looking at.
I was gonna say he kind of had that same attribute where he was trying to impress all the time, and he actually the actor Ed Helms.
Yeah, Ed Helms.
He kind of always plays kind of a character in that realm, I think, where he's always trying to.
I think. Well, yeah. Now
not
since
always,
he was
but
Andy, he's gotten that because he used to be on The Daily Show.
Oh, fun fact.
So was Steve Carell, and I think that's why he was a good fit. So I like him, and I want to bring that to our last point before we do the trivia game, because I know everybody wants to do the trivia game the most. But we're going to come back. We're going to have you guys for a second episode, so there's so much more to talk about. But the last point we're going to talk about today is, what actor would you have replaced Michael with? Now, the rules are it could be any actor. It doesn't have to be any of the ones who came in and interviewed. Just who do you think would have been an optimal replacement for The Office? Who would like to start?
Briana.
She's got it on deck.
Girl,
I would go. So I thought long and hard about this.
Giggity.
Yes. I went with Jack Black. And the reason why I went with Jack Black is because I like the show as far as being funny and quotable, I guess. And I feel like Jack Black would bring that to the show. I didn't feel like, I'm going to bring it back again, as far as Will Ferrell went. He wasn't as funny as I thought Michael would be, Steve Carell. But I feel like Jack Black would bring that funniness to the show, as well as keeping it entertainable And I would hope that if he were to ever come back as Michael or whoever his replacement would be, he would bring his guitar. He would be more musician-y.
Yeah, that would I could see.
It
him,
would
like,
be
having
pretty
a little,
entertaining.
like,
And
a
if him and
powwow at a
Andy
meeting.
like got together,
Yeah.
if everyone learned to
I
play
like
the
that. Jack Black,
instruments,
I think,
I don't
could
know. I
actually
think
do that.
Jack Black would be pretty entertaining and would keep my sense of awe.
You would have kept watching.
Yes, I would have kept watching if Jack Black continued as.
I actually like
as
that.
the
I
boss.
did not expect to hear Jack Black, and I am very impressed at how much thought you put into that.
And the more I
April-
think about it, like that's a good.
yeah, I'm
I
on
could,
board.
I could see him.
I am on
He
board.
can get real
You've
too.
sold
Like
me.
he can have those kind of
Yeah,
heartfelt moments
exactly.
too.
Yeah, my choice is not going to be as good now because Jack Black is on the table.
Yeah, I
But
just took a stab in the dark. So.
let's see if April can top it. Who would you have put in charge?
But I can't because I didn't pick anybody because I felt like The Office is perfect as it is. Even if I were to think of anybody, I couldn't think of anybody.
So there's no one besides Michael. So
Well, I like that. That's an answer in itself.
For
She's
sure.
saying that they're Steve Carell is irreplaceable as the regional manager,
Yes.
Scranton branch. Right?
Scranton branch.
All right, John. I like that answer. That is a good answer.
Yeah.
I don't want to just shy away from it, but like I do
But
want
you
to get to
can,
the
it's fine.
trivia because like I know everybody wants it. We've been talking about it for
A purist.
days,
I like it.
but I
OG.
like it. John, how about you?
I didn't give it too much thought, but I kind of landed on a favorite of mine, Mr. Jim Carrey.
Okay.
I'm like Ace
He was
Ventura,
good. He was good in
90s.
that episode too. The Finger Lakes guy. I gotta
Right.
get back to the Finger Lakes. My whole family is into Finger Lakes.
He's a weird enough dude where he can play a pretty zany character and also he's always entertaining to me. But you know his expressions, just to let him loose in like a small office like that with all those other characters, I think would be awesome.
I agree. I like it. I certainly was hoping out of the ones that like they showed like in that whole special where they were interviewing people, I was hoping that Jim Carrey would come back.
So he was actually in the office. I didn't know that at some point he was in an episode.
You didn't see that
No,
episode?
I
Did you
played
read
that off. I didn't actually see that one. It was just
Yeah, so when they were interviewing, like, they had, like, Will Arnett come in, the guy, James Spader, Robert California, Ray Romano, just, like, a whole bunch of, like...
Ray Romano.
Yeah, just, like, a whole bunch of big, like,
Yeah.
big comedy guys, and they all came in to interview for the spot of the manager, and, like, that was the end of the season. So, like, if you were watching it in real time, which I was, you were like, oh, who's it gonna be? And I thought it was gonna be Jim Carrey, but then I was like, he's probably way too expensive and like would not do that. But my choice to end it off, I don't know if any of you are familiar with him. I hope you are. Joe Latrulio. Have any of you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes, I'm a
I've
fan.
seen like ads about it.
Oh, you should watch
Brooklyn
that. It's
Nine-Nine,
cool.
Charles, Jake's partner.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see
you
it.
guys would know him.
He's
from
so good
On
at being
American
awkward,
Summer.
too.
He was Neil.
Okay, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think he'd be good because he's like whiny and like mousy and like kind of like a small guy, but he can also kind of like
He means well too. Like he's always
Yeah,
trying
he's got
to.
that
He
kind
thinks
of
he's doing the
attitude,
right
like-
thing, but it's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
horrible.
So the moment you guys have all been waiting for. The Fabled Trivia Contest. Those of you listening at home can't see it, but each one of our guests and John have their own dry erase board. I've got 10 questions lined up. They are multiple choice. And then we'll go from there, and whoever wins is office champion. Are you ready?
We are ready, Taylor.
As will never be.
All right.
Always be.
Excellent.
I was born that way.
I was born.
Maybe it's
Same.
Maybelline.
Question number 1. How much money does Michael donate to Oscar's nephew's charity, not realizing that it's a walkathon and the amount is per mile? A, $40. B, $10. C, $25. D, $100. All right, flip them around. John, you are the worst.
I
$100?
obviously guessed. I just guessed. I didn't know.
Wow. All right. Obviously, we
It-
know who the front runners are here.
It was that, or I was gonna draw a picture of the dick.
April and Briana both say $25. You are both correct. 5 points to Gryffindor.
Is there actually a legit point system in this one?
Yeah.
Or is it like Whose Line Again, where we just make it up as we go?
No, I've got like actual points. I mean, they still mean the same thing as last time, which is goose egg.
Nothing.
But question 2. In season 3, episode 19, Michael yells, Dwight, you ignorant slut. From the rooftop of Dunder Mifflin. What classic comedy show is he quoting? A. Mary Tyler Moore. B. Saturday Night Live. C. In Living Color. D. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. All right, your answers are up. Flip them around. So,
That means D. It's the D.
It's the D.
John went with D for Dick, which is what he drew.
Upset.
And he
Please tell
is
me he's right.
incorrect.
Oh, damn.
Actually, everybody is incorrect.
Oh, it was
Brianna
B.
says
Ah,
In
it was
Living
B.
Color.
It was SNL.
It was Saturday Night Live,
Oh,
Chevy Chase. It's something he said during Weekend Update.
Did you snag these off the internet? These questions?
I did, but I actually knew that one.
Oh,
I used to watch Saturday Night Live when it was on like Comedy Central all the
Nice.
time, and they were doing reruns. And I really liked the earlier stuff with Chevy Chase. We'll get into that in another episode.
Yeah, for sure. Cue it up.
Okay, this one's going to be fun. How many vasectomies does Michael claim to have had?
I know this.
Answers up when you're done.
Brianna's thinking so hard.
Flip them around. John says 3. April says 3.
It's
Brianna says 2.
It's 3 because April got it.
The answer is 3. 5 points to April and John.
Yeah.
I told you. He said, I got a vasectomy, and then I got it reversed, and then I got another one.
I was thinking snip,
Snap, snip,
Snip,
snap.
snap, snip, snap.
Yeah, snip, snap, snip,
I
snap.
thought it was 2 snips.
I honestly thought it was 4 at first. I had to do a little research because of the snip, snap, snip, snap. So, like, that's why 4 was always in my head. But I looked it up, and the answer is 3. So, you guys each have got 5 points now. Well, April's at 10, Brianna's at 5, John is at 5. This is the last 5-point question. What does Michael buy from the warehouse guys thinking it's marijuana? A. Oregano. B. Caprese salad. C. Sage. D. Pencil shavings.
I have to admit I kind of cheated on that one because both of them started writing when you hit B. So
Everyone
I
says
panicked
B.
and I
Caprese
just
salad
yeah.
is right. Everybody
we
gets
gotta hold
5
that
points.
one.
I should deduct 5 points.
You
from
should.
John for
I'm gonna
that,
go-
but
I'm gonna go
I'm gonna let
negative
you have
10.
it because I want you to feel like you're
Smooth move.
you're competing here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
win
right.
this time.
The following questions will all be worth 10 points.
ding 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 ding.
What is Pam's grandmother's name? A. Mima. B. Sylvia. C. Althea. D. Cynthia. April says B. Sylvia. Brianna says D. Cynthia. John also says D. Cynthia.
You guys are wrong.
They are wrong, April. The answer
Yeah.
is Sylvia. Congratulations, April. You are killing it.
Has she
10
lost?
points.
She got every one right so far.
I not the
Oh,
No,
Wow.
she didn't get the
The second
Saturday Night
question.
Live one.
Well,
I don't see. What are you? 25 points?
Yep.
Yeah, atta girl. Let's get a point tally. We got 25 for April. Brianna,
10.
10. And John,
I'm rocking 10.
10. All right.
embarrassing.
Ooh, that is
At least it's
embarrassing.
a tie.
I drew a
So
dick for an
guys-
answer and you're still tied.
One of his answers was a dick drawing, so remember that. There's still 5 more questions. Anything can happen. Number 6. What is the name of the character that Dwight creates for Earth Day? A. The Green Machine. B. The Solar Sun. C. Energy Man. Or D. Recyclops. Alright, everybody's done. Flip them around. We got D's all across the board. You guys are all right. Recyclops. 10 points to everybody.
I honestly, again, I didn't know the true answer, but I thought about Dwight and what he would decide as a name for that. So
Number 7. What famous actor is featured as himself in the Saber orientation video? A. Christian Slater. B. Johnny Depp. C. Tom Hanks. Or D. Steve Carell. John says Tom Hanks. Brianna says Christian Slater. But so does April, and they're both right. That's 10
Yes.
points. And the last 10-point question. The rest of these questions will be 15 points apiece. With
game
that,
changer.
who does Michael claim to have been probed by during his counseling session with Toby? A. Toby. B. Alf. C. his mom. D, his mom's boyfriend. John has drawn two dicks docking each other.
Good. Nice use of docking. That's what it's called.
April and Briana both say A,
I'm gonna go with
Toby. And you're both wrong.
I know.
The answer is Alf, B. Question number 9. It's getting serious. What is Daryl allergic to? A, Andy. B, soy. C, peanuts. D, eggs. John says A for Andy. Brianna says C for peanuts. And April has also gone A for Andy. And you're all going to be really upset when you find out he's allergic to soy.
Oh, it's soy.
Do you know how much stuff got soy in it? All right, last question. And I'm going to make it worth 100 points.
Oh, this is it.
This is it.
All or nothing.
All right? Let's see who gets it. You know what? No, we're going to go 50 points. Let's go 50
Okay,
points.
let's just
dial
change
it
the
back
point
here.
value then.
All right, you guys were like, 100 points.
This is for all the marbles here.
This is a really tough one. Which of these are not one of the things that Phyllis says every time it rains? A, nobody knows how to drive in the rain. B, the plants are going to love this. C, it's really coming down out there. D, I actually sleep better when it's raining. All right, for 50 points, everyone turn it around. John says B, the plants are going to love this. So does Briana. April says D, I actually sleep better when it's raining. None of you are right.
Come
Again.
on.
Oh,
Which
no.
one is it? The plants will love this?
No,
or is
it's
that
really coming down out there. It's not one of the 12
Oh, the
things.
Damn
most
it.
generic
Wow,
one.
I'm so upset about this. But
Well.
you know what? We're going to break out the lightning round. What is everybody's points at? First, everybody tell me your points.
Oh, God.
45.
So April's at 45. Brianna's at 30.
20.
John's at 20. All right, John,
Yeah, I know.
you're eliminated.
Okay, see.
I'm sorry. Everybody
Yeah.
say goodbye
I'll
to
go to the
John.
shark
He'll
pit.
never be on the podcast ever again.
Well, you didn't say anything about that.
It's fine.
Oh, you didn't read the bylaws before you came in here. This is actually a job interview.
I just signed it. I didn't
Either
read it.
Brianna or April is going to be the new assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant manager.
I have in front of me a list that Brianna is trying to read through.
Cheater. She's always cheating.
Cheater.
This has every name of every employee to ever hang their hat at Scranton, Dunder, Mifflin. I'm going to give you guys both like a minute or so. For every name you get, 5 points added to your score. So we are going to start the timer now and go. So John, how little preparation did you actually do for this episode on a scale of 1 to 10?
15 minutes of the first episode of The Office.
I really appreciate that. But no, you know what? Let's talk about something serious real quick while they're doing their answers. The reason you're not prepared today is actually my fault. And I'm sorry about
It's
that.
always your fault.
But it's because John has been working so hard on our branding. And I truly appreciate that. You have made it look so nice. It's so nice. It's so crisp. It's so good. I put in my hands they're like a little triangle in the air and I shake them around. That's how good it is. And that's why you're not prepared, because you've been working hard on it. And I want to make sure that you get the credit that you deserve.
Well,
so
all I
thank
heard
you.
is it's your fault.
If I can
so.
remember, I'll edit in an applause track. But if not, I'm going to clap my hands really close to the
Yeah,
mic for you real
Keep
quick.
the awkward self-clap. Thank you. That sums up my entire life right there.
No, I really appreciate it. I do. And everybody at home is going to appreciate it when they see every new episode, which hopefully by this point we may have figured out iTunes. If not, it's coming, guys. I promise. We're working on it. But thank you for listening at SoundCloud. Thank you for listening on YouTube if that's where you're listening.
Thank you, all of our moms.
Thank Mom. Yeah, my mom,
Mom,
John's
thank you.
mom, maybe Hannah's mom, Brianna's mom,
Yeah.
April's mom,
We have
whoever's mom.
We got great moms.
We love moms here. If you're a mom and want to be on the show, let us know. Details at the end.
Next week's episode, all of our moms are going to be
Next-
here.
But thank you for listening, if you're listening to it. Otherwise, I'm talking to nobody right now.
Looks like they're slowing down too. They got quite the list though.
It looks like I'm seeing... Yeah, what do their lists look like? I can't see from over there.
They got a handful there.
Ooh,
Pretty,
Oh,
pretty
dang.
long. I feel like I got a strong list going.
You do.
a strong list. Okay.
can't
How are
list-
you doing, Briana? Remember, now, here are some rules while you guys are writing. Remember, You need to have enough written down about this person so that when you're telling me, there's absolutely no doubt that they work there. John may not be as good, but I'll know. And I've got a list in front of me. Which
He'll know, and he just has records of it. So.
I have records. I did the homework. Well, I didn't do it all alone. I did it with you, and that's why I said thank you. But now I think that you're, like, kind of taking that, like, a little too far.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to ride this wave.
And I'm really glad that whoever gets this list better is going to take your place. And on that note,
all right.
You guys are done.
I wish I was warned about that.
Markers down.
Yes.
Clip them up. First,
Clip him up.
thank you two for showing up today and doing this podcast with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
You can be doing a lot of other
This is
things
actually
right
really
now.
fun. I really enjoy this.
Well, you guys are welcome to come back and talk about literally anything. And anybody who wants to is literally able to come over and talk to us. Details at the end on
We
that.
sound way desperate right now.
So desperate.
Anyone that
Please
can
come to
talk.
their show.
You could just,
Anybody.
I don't,
Moving right along. Let's get to your lists. Let's see who has more names written down first.
Briana has 25.
I have 28.
Ooh. Okay. Here's how we're going to do it. Brianna, since you have less, I want you to go through yours first.
Okay. Packer, Pam, Oscar, Kevin, Angela, Holly, Roy, Michael, Jim, Dwight, Phyllis, Toby, Andy, Stanley, Creed, Joe, Kelly, Michael in the warehouse,
ooh.
Ryan, Gabe, Robert, D'Angelo, Meredith, Daryl.
All of those were good, but we can't accept Joe. Joe is the CEO
She wasn't part of
Sabre.
Scranton. Yep.
Ooh,
That's
and
why
you
I
knew
did
that.
that.
And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to be honest with you. And I want you to look at the list that I have. You see a scratch mark out there. Can everybody verify that scratch mark for
That's a
me?
Yes.
scratch mark.
That
Scratch.
scratch mark is David Wallace.
Because he doesn't count
He
either.
doesn't really count
He's-
either.
he's
So I
his
took him off of my
CEO.
list. So in all fairness, I can't count Joe. I'm sorry. But 24, each one of those is times 5. John, you're going to have to do the math for me.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that at the end. But April, how many of hers do you also have?
I think I had the same exact people as her.
What do you have that she doesn't?
I also have Anthony Garner and Martin. We know who Martin is, right?
Yes.
Karen, did you put Karen Filippelli down there?
Oh, you didn't put... How did you miss Karen?
Karen
Dang. She's
Filippelli.
a big character.
Philippelle.
Ed Truck and Hannah with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Nellie, Devin, who got fired, and Aaron.
Are we
that
counting
was
the
Kelly,
baby?
but changed
I am
her name
so
to Aaron.
impressed. Hand your board over to John. He's going to make sure and tell me who is the official winner. I think we have an idea of who may have won. But let's just keep it fair so that Brianna has like a second to pretend like
I
maybe she did.
erased all of mine though, so
Oh, all right. Well,
to,
never
like,
mind.
double-
April wins.
to double cross.
April
it.
won. I don't know what her final score is. Anyone who is counting at home, if you want to do the math and tell us, I'll talk about you in next week's podcast.
Yeah, if you do that, that'd be really impressive and kind
or
of weird.
2 weeks from now podcast. We tape in advance. Get with it, people. This
Yeah.
is a production.
We also use
this
tape.
Isn't live. I'm sorry.
This is on a cassette
I'm
player.
only one man. But people that you guys forgot.
We'll send
Val
out
in the
VHSs.
warehouse.
Yes, Val.
Also in the warehouse, Nate. Probably one of the
Yes.
funnier characters.
Yeah.
The one
That
who
Dwight brings in.
that Dwight brings in. Thank you, April. Madge in the warehouse,
Yes.
a.k.a. Pudge.
Pudge, yes.
Frank, the guy who attacks Pam. And Hide. He
Damn.
killed that mafia boss. I
Yeah.
want to thank you guys. You are such
Damn.
troopers.
Yeah.
Brianna is standing up. I bet you she has
She has
to
to
pee
pee
Yeah.
so bad
So
right
bad.
now. Tell everyone how badly you have to pee so I can stretch this out as long as
I've
possible.
been waiting for the
Yeah.
last 20 minutes.
Drag it out
appreciate-
yourself. So
I appreciate how much effort you guys put into this. You guys were fantastic fucking guests. John, as always, you were all right. But
Sweet.
you two are welcome
Mediocre.
back anytime. There's so much
That's
more
my
we
goal.
can talk about The Office. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here?
No,
No?
I think we're
you want
good.
to
We
plug
loved it.
you want to plug your podcast?
Do
Or
you want to
something?
plug it? You guys have anything you want to plug? Where
Yeah.
are you guys going to be? What are you doing? Where can people see you?
When do you watch The Office? All the time. Okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
You can see me at the McMinnville Safeway Deli.
There you go.
Oh, that's
That's
TMI.
TMI. Now,
No one knows
now
what
people
I
are
look
going
like.
to come stalk
I don't
you.
wear a name tag.
I would
It's
like
fine.
some chicken, please.
Are you the girl that knows all the Office characters?
Are you April? And on that note, you guys, thank you so much for listening. And remember, if no one else will, will be your friends.
We'll be your friends.
Hey everybody, what did you think of today's podcast? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did we not mention something that you think we should have? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then drop us a line at WBYF Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Join the discussion at our Facebook, facebook.com/WBYF Podcast. And for any inquiries about episode ideas, being on the show, fan art, or anything you want us to see personally, send an email to WBYFpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and remember, if no one else will, then we'll be your friends.